Hi guys, so I'm going to talk about how to be a leader and not a follower. I was inspired to talk about leadership because I just got done reading this book called Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. So she writes about her journey through the jungle gym of corporate America and how she's made it to COO, Chief Operating Officer at Facebook, and she's a billionaire now, and she just talks about there's a huge gap between men in leadership and women in leadership. There's clearly more men in leadership than women. She encourages women throughout the book on how to believe in themselves and just how to be an effective leader as a female. So she says leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure the impact you make lasts even in your absence. And I thought that was a cool take on what leadership really is. Our society puts these rules on women that you can have ambition and you can be successful but not too successful, or else you'll intimidate the man. And it's like, that's not fair. A lot of times when a woman steps into a leadership position, she's seen as like rude and bossy, and when a man steps into a leadership role, he's not considered rude or bossy. It's just him doing his job. Like, there's no negative connotations with his behavior versus her behavior. Society is made up of all these rules and expectations that we're supposed to follow, but it's like, why would we follow the expectations of a society that's broken? Just don't take the easy path and be a robot like most people in society that settle and get to their routine and just do what society expects. I was always told by my parents that I needed to be a leader and not a follower, and so they really gave me a set of core values that has transpired me to lead not only myself but others. I was taught to not just like sit back and let life happen to you. I was taught to stand up for what I believe in, that you have an opinion, you have a voice, and it's important to be heard. It's important to surround yourself with like-minded people who are working towards goals, who are ambitious, who are helping you grow, because you won't grow if you're surrounded by people who are stagnant. There's no reason you should be in the same place you're at 10 years from now. Like, that's pathetic. The company I work for is a woman-owned business, and so 75% of our office is female. And it's funny because I've never reported to a man. In all the jobs I've worked for, I've never reported to a guy. So my boss now, she's female, and she just kind of what the definition of leadership is supposed to look like. She has 2 kids, she's married, she's the VP, works full-time obviously, and she just does the dang thing. It's cool because she's kind of taken me under her wing to help develop me professionally and personally. I have this desire to lead, and so I really look up to women that are leaders in our community and at work surrounding me. Not everyone is born to be a leader. There's a huge debate on if you're born to lead or if you are taught how to lead, and for me, I kind of think it's both, but if you have a strong opinion, you should definitely comment and let me know what you think and why. I'm still learning how to embrace my natural leadership, but this book really helped me grow in that area, and it really brought to light issues that I didn't really realize. So some of my top tips for being a leader is to be fearless. Ask yourself, what would you do if you weren't scared? If you weren't fearful of what would happen? If you weren't fearful of being disliked, fearful of negative attention, fearful of failure? It's a choice that you have to make every day to be fearless and to step outside your boundaries and challenge yourself. Self-doubt often becomes a form of self-defense. People would rather put themselves down before others can, and that's not a healthy strategy. Like, don't put yourself down. Don't do that. The most common way people lose their power is by acting like they don't have any. So that goes into my next tip, which is just be confident. And if you're not confident right now, just fake it until you make it. I know so many people in leadership positions that do that. It's like, no one knows what they're doing, really. Like, no one really knows. The older I get, the more I realize that. Everyone's just winging it. And studies have actually found that with the fake it till you make it thing, that simple things like changing your posture has such a huge impact on like your attitude. Forcing a smile can actually make you feel happier. Research backs that up. Cheryl says in her book that when she was an executive at Google, she noticed that men would often jump at growth opportunities more quickly than women because they were more confident and they were more eager to challenge themselves, and they believe in themselves. They believe that they were capable of doing more, and that opened the door for more opportunities. If you believe in yourself, then other people are going to believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, others are not going to believe in you. It's really simple. Okay, the next thing, be vulnerable, be authentic, be real. People love that. People love authenticity. And I could talk about this topic for 8 years, but you should check out Brene Brown. She's my girl. I love her. She's amazing. But when leaders are vulnerable and they're able to show their weaknesses, people respect that. Respect goes hand in hand with vulnerability because people don't want to report to someone who acts like everything's perfect and that they know everything. Like, no one wants to listen to someone like that. So be vulnerable and be yourself. The next tip is develop a thick skin. You have to be solid enough that no one's opinion of you is going to rock you. You have to stand firm in what you believe in and not allow other people's opinions to tear you down. You can't be weak. If you're a leader, you cannot be weak because you're leading. The other thing is prioritize learning. Oftentimes when leaders prioritize learning, they are prioritizing growth. And we want leaders who are evolving and growing. If you aren't staying hungry and evolving, that's dangerous. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to look back 10 years from now and not see any changes happen in your life. There's a number of things that make a good leader, but those are some of the topics that she talked about in her book, and those are some of the takeaways that I got. Also, let me know if you guys think leaders are born or if they're taught to be leaders by their parents or guardians or whatever. I'm just curious to know what you guys think. Bye!